Hey guys, Christina here, and I know normally I try to avoid drama stuff on my channel, but when it gets to bad medical advice, I kind of take an issue. And there's been battles going on between well, it's a one-sided battle between Shannyforchrist or Authentically Shanny and Foodie Beauty, who is now ignoring her. They were at one point friends, and when people were donating money to Shanny and Jason, they were giving money to Foodie Beauty. So, what's been going on is that Shanny's trying to attack Foodie Beauty any way she can. And recently it has been giving diet advice. Now, Shanny claims she's on Ozempic. She's not given any numbers, but claiming weight loss, so can't prove it. But she did show a bottle of pills on one of her live streams, bragging about how it was getting filled to the top at this one pharmacy and her other medications weren't. And she claimed that this big bottle of big pills was gabapentin, which no, they look like metformin, not gabapentin. Gabapentin's capsules. And that's the way I've seen it come from many different pharmacies, or it would be a liquid. It doesn't come in a pill the same form as metformin does. And I'm on metformin myself, so I know what those pills look like. So I don't know if she's on Ozempic. It's possible she's on both. But she's been going as far as giving dietary advice to Foodie Beauty. And Foodie has a binge eating disorder. This is actually a psychological problem. And Shanny is supposed to be, she's claimed many times she's a mental health advocate. But yet they make fun of Foodie Beauty and her eating habits. Which some of them do stem from binge eating. This is getting ridiculous. And this is why I'm not leaving this alone. You can't be a mental health advocate and then make fun of somebody for their mental health. And Shannon doesn't like it when people make fun of her mental health, but it's okay if she does with other people. She's also, Foodie Beauty has stated in some live streams that she has kidney disease, chronic kidney disease. I don't know if she's in the early stages of end-stage renal disease. Considering her diabetes looks pretty advanced, it's a possibility. So, with things like advising Foodie to have spinach, that is a no-go with a renal patient. Between the oxalates, which can cause kidney stones, the potassium, which is very high, and the phosphorus, which for later stages of kidney failure and when they hit ESRD4, those phosphates in like beans and stuff like that can actually bind with the urea in the bloodstream and form crystals under the skin, which are extremely painful and cause open sores. So the type of diet that if she gets to ESRD, she needs to start preparing for now. What Foodie Beauty needs is advice from a dietitian, not a nutritionist, not Shannon, Not me. I mean, I'm a nurse. I deal with this. I was a dialysis charge nurse. I have dealt with this. And even not from me. Foodie needs to go to an actual registered dietitian and get advice from her. Shanny, you're not a dietitian. Just because you took some classes on diabetes management does not mean that you are an expert or you should be advising anybody else at this rate. Because what you are ignoring, for a diabetic, the main things they need to watch are protein levels because they need an increase in protein. They need to watch the sugar and the fiber. Now, renal disease, yeah, she's got to watch the sodium. But you didn't address that because you don't know what you're talking about. See how this works? What you're advising is kind of a mixture of diabetic, renal, and cardiac diet, but not a proper one. Canned soups are kind of, I mean, you read something that had a lot of sodium in it. And then you're having these sugar-free zero colas, and those have sodium in them. And colas also are ill-advised to renal patients as well because there's phosphates and there's other things in a cola that can damage the kidneys further. Water is her best bet, lemon water, things like that to flush her kidneys out. But the fiber counteracts the sugar in some ways. So if you have something that's got, say, 23 grams of sugar in it, and you have 15 grams of fiber in there, you would subtract 15 from 23, which would leave you with, I can't math this morning, so whatever amount is left in there, that is your total sugar intake from that item, because the fiber it kind of negates the sugar in a way. So, I mean, there's various factors here. And Shannon, what you need to pay attention to is your diet, not somebody else's diet, not trying to make a whole thing and get her paying attention to you again diet. You need to pay attention to what you are doing. And that's it. I pay attention to what I am doing. I don't comment on yours. I don't comment on hers. That is not my place unless somebody asks me, and on a professional but off work thing, I will discuss things with them, and I also will still say to people, go and check with your dietitian and get things straightened out there. And losing weight is hard. That's why you're on Ozempic. I know it's hard. I spent last year laid up for 6 months because of a tear in my hip. I had to relearn how to walk. So I gained weight again. Well, right now I'm wearing pants I couldn't wear last year. They're fitting. And I'm hoping I'm going to keep down on that trend. But I have emotional eating issues. And there's sometimes I can't shut off the hunger because my brain is like, oh, hey, you need to eat. And keep eating, and keep eating, and keep eating. And then working night shift screws me up. So every patient has their own issues in trying to lose weight. And you are not in the place to be giving advice. So focus on yourself. Find something else to talk about. and let Foodie deal with her own issues. If you don't want people reacting to you, why are you reacting to her? So I had to say it, and this is going on my main channel because I really hope people hear this. If somebody else is in the same situation where they want to comment about somebody's weight or comment about what they're eating and give them advice they don't know about in the first place or make fun of that person, it's not appropriate to make fun of that person. Unless they do things that warrant making fun of. And really having eating issues like the binge eating and psychological eating, and some people have Prader-Willi, I think is what it's called, where they don't have a hunger switch. So they just keep eating and have to have cupboards and fridges locked and everything. There's tons of nutritional issues out there. And so, Shannon, I still care about you, hun, but you need to kind of keep it to yourself and work on yourself. Let her work on herself. And shut up.